Bullshit.
It's the No BS Marketing Show. I'm Dave Mastovich, CEO and founder of Massolutions, the world's only no bullshit marketing firm. The other day, I had someone ask me, how do I become a great speaker? They said, I love the way you speak. How do I become a great speaker? And at that moment, I had two thoughts. One was, okay, I want to make sure I give her a good answer. But at the same time, I thought, I've never had anyone ask me, how do I become a great listener? And that's significant because to me, the two are tied together. I began to answer them by saying, there are a lot of ways that you have to build to become a great speaker. But the first one is your ability to listen and learn and read the target audience. And this could mean if you have a formal speaking engagement where you have to prepare for it because you know the target audience, or it could be an informal situation where you are speaking to a staff meeting, to a group, to a community event, to a team you're coaching. But listening, learning, and reading the room, reading the audience, are all essential to becoming a great speaker. So let's go back. Why aren't more people asking or saying that they want to become a great listener? Listening doesn't have the cachet of being a great speaker. When you think of someone that's a great speaker, you're inspired by them and you just see them as an expert. But when someone's a great listener, you do notice it. I get people that will say to me, you really listen. And I kind of go, okay, you're a really great listener. I just can't believe every time I talk to you, you're listening. And that makes me realize that most of us aren't good at listening. And I am not good all the time at listening. No one is. And there are a couple reasons why. The first is it's against our natural human behavior, our mind, our makeup to be good listeners. Because our brain has created mental shortcuts for us in order to help us get through life. So our brain is constantly having us make assumptions and reactions and deductions to shorten how much time we have to spend on something. So it's a natural tendency of the brain to start thinking for us when someone's talking to us of what we're going to answer or what we're going to try to gain from that conversation. So there's a science behind why it's hard to listen. So to become a great listener, which then can help you become a great leader, communicator, and speaker, we have to first overcome the science, the natural inclinations and tendencies of our mind and body to jump through things. So to become an active, empathetic listener requires overriding the brain's natural tendencies. Now, how do we do that? Committing to listening is the first step. And it really is a difficult thing because most of us don't even think of it that way. We go about our daily activities not realizing that we're missing listening opportunities. We're missing listening opportunities. What do I mean by missing listening opportunities? The more we listen better, the stronger our connection is with others, the stronger our relationships are. Because we can listen to connect, we can listen to learn, we can listen to engage. That requires overcoming the natural mental tendency to listen to critique or to listen to convince. I want you to think about that. I told you that the mind works to give us mental shortcuts when we're in conversations and in all parts of our life. So when we're in conversations, the mind is already working to give us mental shortcuts. Most likely those shortcuts are tied to what we're going to do to critique, or what we're going to do to convince the person who's communicating with us. We have to make a conscious effort and a conscious commitment that we're not going to listen to convince or listen to critique. We're going to listen to learn. We're going to listen to engage. We're going to listen to connect. And we're going to listen to collaboratively solve problems. It's not easy. I fail daily, but I succeed way more often than I fail, and it's life-changing. It's life-changing. I want you to take that time to think about what we're talking about here, to think about how you become a great storyteller, how you become a better leader, how you become a better communicator, and how you become a better speaker. They're all tied to becoming a better listener, and to be an active, empathetic listener requires overriding your brain's natural tendency to give you mental shortcuts. Now, there are hundreds of listening tips that you can get by Googling listening tips and listening skills, and I've given them before in my blog and on podcasts. But I'm today focused on a mental shift. That's all I'm focused on, because I know we can do another episode on tips specifically of what to do. Today I'm focused on the mental shift. The shift to being committed to overriding your brain's natural tendency to go to convince and critique and to jump to what you're going to say next in a conversation. I want you to commit to that mental shift. Commit to seeing listening as sexy, seeing listening as a big deal, seeing a great listener the way you see a great speaker, great leader, great communicator. Now, the odds are that the person that you think's a great leader is a great listener. The person you think's a great speaker is a great listener. The person you think's a great communicator is a great listener. So if you commit to the shift in your mindset and shift to a growth mindset around listening, making listening an active versus passive approach for you, making it empathetic listening, listening to learn, listening to engage, listening to connect, rather than listening to convince or critique. That's the big win for you, and that helps you become a no BS leader, communicator, storyteller, and speaker. Thanks for listening to another episode of the No BS Marketing Show, recorded in our studios here in bold, beautiful downtown Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Remember, ask yourself, what's the big idea? And build your story around the answer. It's all about bold solutions, no BS.